It's normal to see animosity when egos collide, but the following 10 wrestlers take it to the next level. 10 wrestlers who hated working with each other. Maria and the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins weren't exactly liked when they came into the WWE, and Maria felt the full force of why that was. They were brought back after being fired, and as their star rose in the WWE, so did their pull backstage. Maria has since claimed that the twins blocked her return to WWE on account of Nikki being jealous that Dolph Ziggler and Maria were friends. This seems ridiculous, but anything to keep them on top makes sense. Bret Hart and Ric Flair. Bret Hart has been very vocal about current and former wrestlers since retiring, and Ric Flair was right in the line of fire. The war between these two has been staged in their books, with Hart writing that Flair was the most overrated wrestler in history. This all started, though, because Flair called Hart bitter. Whether you agree with this or not, it's hard to imagine that this rivalry will end anytime soon. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. This was the biggest rivalry in wrestling during the 80s, and it was the on-screen storyline that generated the real-life hatred between the two men. On-screen, the duo formed the Mega Powers, and they became the main story within the entire WWF. As the story goes, Macho Man thought that Hogan was getting a little too close to Miss Elizabeth, and Macho attacked Hogan. Fans may have thought this to be story, but apparently there was major real-life hatred between the two. Triple H and CM Punk. CM Punk rubbed a lot of people the wrong way backstage, but one you don't want to deal with is the game Triple H. Triple looked at Punk as just another quote-unquote indie darling, and his huge ego couldn't handle it when Punk became more over and bigger than Triple H himself. This boiled over onto television in 2011-2012 when the game spoiled the hottest run of Punk's career, and the constant feeling of being held back by the game and Vince McMahon is a big reason why Punk left the WWE. Ric Flair and Mick Foley. Two more polar opposites you could not find in wrestling, but yet these two have both become utter icons in their respective manner. This is exactly where the hatred stems from, though, as both have criticized each other for how they became legends. The heat culminated in some great matches, though, in 2006, in which the traditional Flair was bloodied up by the hardcore legend Foley. Jeff Hardy and CM Punk. This was the main storyline on SmackDown in 2009, and it produced some captivating promos and incredible matches. As we all know, CM Punk lives that straight-edge lifestyle, the very opposite to the adrenaline junkie that is Jeff Hardy, who publicly struggled with addiction. The promos got very personal, and the controversy continued even after they left the company. We don't know how they get along now, but back then, it's hard to imagine them even being in the same room with each other, let alone the same ring. Chyna and Stephanie McMahon. This was built from a love triangle, and to the best of our knowledge, it lasted for decades, with WWE not bringing Chyna back after she left. As the story goes, Triple H was seeing Chyna, but was at the same time seeing Stephanie. Chyna fired up and complained to the WWE, but she was let go soon after, and even a decade on before her passing, reports say that she did not ever bury the hatchet with Triple H or Stephanie. CM Punk and Ryback. We didn't know it at the time, but after leaving WWE, CM Punk fired away at Ryback. He claimed Ryback worked intentionally stiff with him, along with a few other choice words that we won't repeat here. Ryback fired back, and it seems the two had a genuine disdain for one another. Neither are with the WWE anymore, though, so their problems have probably faded away by now, right? Edge and Matt Hardy. This one played out famously in the year 2005 and turned into one of the hottest feuds of all time in WWE. It all started when Lita, Matt Hardy's girlfriend in real life, was found cheating with Edge, and Hardy took to the internet to react. WWE fired him at first, but realized they could capitalize on the real-life drama. The two then worked a heated program, all while maintaining that utter disdain for one another. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. This one is fairly obvious to any wrestling fan these days, but it's still pretty fun to talk about. The two were standouts of their generation and had a classic rivalry full of amazing matches, but they just couldn't stand each other. Eventually, this boiled over, and as a result, we got the famous Montreal Screwjob, which just made things worse between the two. 13 years later, the duo reconciled, but it's hard to even imagine how much they hated each other at the time. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to TheSportster. And remember, sometimes you have to put your personal feelings aside to do some great business.